Hello, welcome to another episode of Lessons from Leaders. My name is Barbara Nixon and today I am delighted to introduce you to Crissy Vukic. Now, Crissy is a creative entrepreneur in Canada with a passion for business, marketing and not taking things too seriously. Her retail store in Cambridge, Ontario, Iguana Beads, specialises in high quality jewellery making supplies and fine artisan jewellery. Now, I know that you're going to get loads from this conversation with Crissy, so let's dive in. Hi Crissy, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really happy for you that you're here. So I know we've been connected for quite some time, but this is our first time having a chat, isn't it? So which is lovely.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Whereabouts are you? You in the world?
I am in Ontario, Canada, Cambridge to be exact.
Right. Okay. So tell me about your journey then. What are you doing now, and how did you get to where you are today?
I own a jewelry and bead supply store, and I also own some property that I manage. I started out by just, well, where do I start here? I guess I started out, we have dead space. Sorry, I feel nervous because we're recording now, so let's edit that out.
Yeah,
so where did I start here? I've had a lot of different jobs. I knew that as I kept trying different things, from retail to sales, it all led up to something that I love to do. I decided that I would start making my own jewelry and selling it. So I would travel around Ontario and just sell my jewelry at farmers markets, artisan events and that kind of thing. And I had my pickup truck and I would have to take out my tent and set up my tables and everything. And then and it was good. I enjoyed it. But I decided I would try something else. So I went into learning real estate. I did the courses and I was doing okay with it. Then I found I wasn't connecting to the material. I'm reading, I'm studying to be this real estate agent. I'm looking at, I'm seeing the competition and what's out there, and it just doesn't feel like me. So I just decided I was going to go to this bead store and that I knew had really good quality stones. And I said, I'm going to just get back into what I like to do. So I gave up on that. I went into the bead store and I found out that the lady who owned it was retiring at the end of the year. And I just felt like I wanted all of the beads in the store, I would go, I just loved, if there's one thing I loved about doing what I was doing, is I loved collecting the beautiful beads, the supplies to make everything that I made. And so to make the long story short, I did end up taking over the business from the lady, and she was happy to keep it alive, that it was going to go on. And I took it under my wings. I made it my own. It's called Iguana Beads. And I ended up buying a building down the street just because when I saw it for sale, and it just looked so bright and big, and so and then we had a lot of product, and we moved it over there, and it's just beautiful. We have our jewelry section, we have our beading and supplies, we have our classroom. So it's just everything that I love all in one place. I've always been into geology, so we focus a lot on high quality gemstones for making jewelry. We get a lot of designers that come to get our stuff. I get to travel to different places to find unique and rare specimens. And I also like to be a part of a community that I absolutely adore, which is geology and rocks and minerals. So yeah, that's how I got there.
What an awesome journey, and considering that you were going down a different path, and you thought, actually I'm just going to go and visit the shop, and lo and behold, the lady was retiring. So how that was just such a great, you know, bit of synchronicity, I think, isn't it?
It totally is. Like everything that happened before, always, it just everything. Even one of my first job at it was like one of my first jobs was a jewelry store, like, and everything that I did leading up to that day was just preparing me for what I would do. And I believe that going with the flow and following your inner, I don't know how to explain it, but following your inner love, I guess, you can find, and you just kind of go with it. You will find what you were always meant to just flow into.
It's like your own, it's your own, you know, GPS, if you like, isn't it? It's your own guidance system, but not resisting that.
Yes.
You know, it's taking that path of least resistance, isn't it? Of just leaning into it and just trusting that you're following the right path.
Yes, totally believe in that.
So and I believe in that too. So how have you changed as a person then? Because I know, you know, did you do some work in terms of your mindset, or were you ready for that bold move at that point?
Oh, I've changed quite a bit. So definitely I'm different from who I was back then. But I think I can just see all of the changes that have happened. I mean, it's not too dramatic. I do believe I was ready for it because, I mean, to be honest, the business wasn't exactly doing that great when I took it over, but I saw it and I saw
Crissy, are you touching your microphone? It's gone really fuzzy, your microphone. Are you touching your mic?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Is that better?
You've gone really quiet.
Oh, I didn't do anything. How about now?
Yeah, we're all right now. I don't know.
Okay, that was weird.
Sorry to interrupt.
Where was I? I was talking about
you were saying that you're a different person from when you first started, and you've done some work on yourself.
Oh, definitely. So I would say when I first took over, it wasn't doing as well as I would have hoped, but I was able to. It was a lot of planning in that. What would I say? You asked me if I was ready for it. Mm-hmm. I said yes, I was definitely ready for it. Everything that I did led up to it. I've always looked at businesses as I was working for other people and tried to figure out why they do the things that they do. Yeah. So I was able to take all of that and kind of make it my own. I've always been one that watched it, so that's why I know business was definitely something that was a right fit for me. But I guess you could say I've matured a little, but I still haven't lost my funk. Like I'm pretty goofy. But I've also discovered that about myself through this business, because it has made me so happy to do something I love that I do just allow myself to be me while I'm there. Yep. And so, yeah. And I can't hear you now.
Oh, no, what's going on?
Oh, there we go. Okay, I can hear you now. Okay.
But I love the fact that you've said that, because it takes sometimes it can be a journey, can't it, of self-discovery, of just allowing yourself to be you know, unapologetically you, and be able to be goofy and, you know, fun and all of that, you know, stuff that makes your personality so brilliant, and bring it to the table in business and not try and, you know, hide that away.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I've changed quite a bit, is I've been okay with being myself. And you know, I'm not a traditional boss. I am very I like to let everybody do what they feel, as long as it's a productive for the business. I mean, that's what I do when I go in. I mean, and as long as they're doing that, they're happy, and they're going to be better to the customers. So I do kind of make it so that people, as long as they know what my goals are and what my vision is, they respect it, they're going to do the right thing. And I just allow things to happen organically, and then I go in and I tweak as we go along.
Perfect. So how many people have you got in your team?
I have 4 employees. So I have 1 manager, 3 part-time people, and I also have a volunteer. She approached me, and when she first did, I was like, what the heck, you want to come work here for free, you know? Yeah. So she came, and she was a retired teacher, and it took me about 6 months before I gave her a call, because I was like, I don't know who would want to do this, but you know, now I'm good with it. She loves it, and we love her, and so we have a pretty substantial team, I'd say.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. So that's your one business. You've got another arm to your business as well, have you?
Yeah, I mean, I own the building that I have my store in, and so there's residential and commercial property behind me and above me that I need to manage. So I'm learning. I've learned a lot about that, and it has been very challenging. So that would be probably the most challenging thing for me, because it's really tested my my entire being, you know. Like I've had a lot of things happen in there that have tested me, but I've come out of it stronger, and it shows me that, you know, you can get through everything, and that stress is actually just a matter of your perception of what is stressful. So that was probably the most important lesson I learned about it, because for one person, you know, having to, you know, bake a bunch of cookies could be a very big stress for them, because, you know, that's what they perceive as very stressful, you know. And same with somebody, you know, having to do other things like, you know, in a business where you have a lot of things that you have to do all at once, you know, it's very different depending on the person and what they can do. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, yes, I've had a lot of stress that I've dealt with, but I'm learning about the importance of understanding that you can get through anything as long as you put your mind to it, wrap your head around it, you'll be fine.
That's a really important takeaway, isn't it? That stress it's different, you know. It's all about perception. So how do you, when you're in that stressful situation, how do you change that perspective? So how do you change your mindset on how to deal with that stress?
Okay.
That's what I mean.
That's a good question. I would say that.
How do you kind of look at it from a different perspective?
When I have a lot of stress, the one thing I do is I kind of have to look at it from all angles, especially because I actually will take, you know, you want to breathe, and you want to think it through. I mean, I would say that you also want to look at your, I like to look at my eating habits, because if I'm starting to, you know, go back on how I'm my health, if I start to eat too much sugar or too much caffeine or something, it can actually contribute to the stress. So the important thing is to just try and stay healthy. I like to meditate at least once a day, just to get my head sorted, and definitely writing helps. I mean, in the actual day-to-day, like, moments, you want to, like, if you're encountering stress in the day-to-day and you're right there, you can't really sit there and start writing and meditating. It's kind of a weird thing, but like, what you can do is just kind of set it aside, like take it in your head, you know, pick it up in a box, go set it aside, bring your A game to the table, and be the strong person you need to be. Go back and get that box later when you get home, you know, and deal with it. So that's kind of the way I guess you could say I deal with it.
Yeah, great answer, great answer. I love the fact that you're also very self-aware in terms of what your stress symptoms are, you know, because you said, oh, if I start doing this, or I start not looking after myself, or I'm, you know, my eating habits change, then, you know, you put those other things in place. And that self-awareness is so important, isn't it? Because often when we're in a stressful situation, we kind of just get swept away by it rather than recognizing that it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else what other tools do you have in your armor really for dealing with both businesses and, you know, and growing as the leader of these businesses?
The tools that I have. Well, the one thing that I am so grateful for is my my team. Definitely. I mean, the best thing I could have done was bring somebody in who is so like so I'll just say there's the Taylor. She manages my store for me. You know, so that I can work on things in the back end, and she is definitely like a clone of me, I guess you could say. I totally trust her to do the things that I would do if I'm not there. I am so lucky that I was able to find somebody that truly admires and loves my business as much as me, and wants to be a part of it. So that is probably my number one tool.
Was that a conscious decision then to find somebody who was very similar to you in terms of you know, how you felt about the business? Did you go about looking for somebody like that?
Absolutely not. You can't go about looking for someone like that. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but not to say you couldn't. Okay, yes, you probably could, but it would be so hard. Like, I found her, I was just, all I did was put on social media that we're hiring. And then she applied, and I remember the moment she applied, I knew she'd been in the store a couple of times. I was brushing my teeth, and she had she sent a message through Facebook Messenger through my business page saying, hi, I just brought my resume in, and I'm really excited. I'm hoping that you know, we can meet up. And I was brushing my teeth. I just started jumping up and down, getting excited, because I was like, she would be wonderful. She would just be so great. So I called her, and pretty much she was in. But and we kind of just grew together, and there was a friendship, a bond, like we were very much alike, and it just happened. It was a very lucky situation, to say.
Good. So that's just wonderful. But did you have to learn how to manage her then, or from the word go, did you think, actually my business is in good hands?
Yeah, of course I had to. So I spent a lot of time, like when I talk to her, make sure I tell her, like, I told her my story, what I want the business to be. So I was clear on, you know, I wanted to grow. I wanted to be known for high quality, and also, you know, she had some experience already with running some businesses in her family too, so she really respected that part of it. If anything, she's helped me as much as I've helped her. We became a really great team. So she brought a lot of knowledge in as well, and we've grown together. She's definitely had a part in growing the store as well. So that's, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that, but
yeah. So it sounds like you've got a fantastic partnership there, and you're both sharing exactly the same vision. And you're so fortunate that you're able to just be able to trust and focus on what you do best.
yes, exactly.
Your businesses. So how would you describe then your leadership style?
It's loose. It's loose and very excitable. I like to, I always walk in to the store with a bubbly attitude. I like to, like I said before, I like to let people, you know, do as like let the girls do what they think, what they would like to do. I mean, I guide them. I'll say, you know, I'm what I mean is, you know, they need to. They get inspired by something, then make something for the store, you know, or, you know, you're getting tired. I always say, if you're getting tired of doing that, then let me know, because there's some other things. I want to keep it fun and light and happy in there. And when you do that, the entire environment, just a customer will walk in and feel it. And you know, how many times I have people say that they get a feeling when they come into the store, like it feels nice. And so I mean, that's my leadership style is definitely easygoing. I'll sometimes I have a karaoke machine. I'll sometimes sing in the store. What else will we do? Just fun things, like just always trying to make things fun and laugh. I do get serious from time to time though, like the meetings, like, you know, we'll have a staff meeting every now and then where I kind of polish up on the goals, what we need to keep focused on. For example, like selling certain things, keeping things tidy, because, you know, with creative people all around, if you didn't know, creative people are very messy. So the whole place is very creative, we'll say, in quotations. But we try to keep that creativity to the back of the store, which works. But other than that, that's I think that about sums up.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds like a really good place. So what's your go-to karaoke song then, Crissy, when you're blasting out the karaoke machine?
Well, the most recent was Hey Jude. That was a bit gentle, but I do like Nancy Sinatra. These boots are made for walking. Yeah, so
everybody have a go?
No,
just you.
Sometimes, yeah. The other girls not so much. Taylor will sometimes join me if it's just me and her, and she'll come in and what's the song we were doing? I can't remember. It was she would chime in once in a while, like in the chorus. Love Shack.
Love Shack. Sounds fab. Love it. And I love the fact that you're bringing yourself, like I said before, you're bringing yourself to your business. So you've got you're leading your team down. So what about leading yourself? How do you do that?
Oh yeah. That one, I'm serious about leading myself. Like if if there's going to be any structure, it's got to be me. So I mean, I will present myself loosely, but I'm very organized. You wouldn't. I mean, everything is filed. Everything has to be clean when I work, because it clutters my mind if there's stuff everywhere. So I'm actually I'm quite picky about my organization. I plan everything ahead pretty well. I focus on my lists and I work through them. And that's about it. I do a lot of my work at home because when I'm at the store, it's like I am there to. It's almost like this sounds silly, but it's almost like I'm there to. I don't know, like be on the stage. Like I'm, you know what I mean? It's like you're on a stage and you're doing your production, you're so I do like to focus at home with any kind of administrative work. So I just have these certain things that I like to do. I work from home on important things, and then a lot of the time when I'm at the store, I'm working the floor and I'm keeping things tidy and making sure the things that needs to be done are getting done in the order they need to be done in. So
yeah, good. So you've got that yin and yang going on, haven't you, where you're really organized, and you're able to focus at home on the thing, you know, your admin tasks, but when you go to work, you're on show, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so and does that work well for you?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what's so great about being your own boss, is you can make the rules to fit your your happiness, I guess you could say, what makes it work, what works for you. So
What does make you happy?
pardon me?
What does make you happy?
What makes me happy? Freedom, feeling free, you know, being able to uh, just, you know, read a book until 3 a.m. and then wake up at 10 and then go to work when you're there, when you're ready to go. Like, that's what makes me happy. That's all, like everything else. Yes, yes, falls into place as long as that is what I want. Yeah.
So would you say that you were more of a night owl then, Crissy? So do you do a lot of your work in the evening, or?
Yes, I'm totally better in the evening to get anything done. Sometimes I'll even wake up if I didn't get, like, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and like I'll be like, okay, it's time to work, and then I'll go to bed again like at 6 or 7. It's just it's weird, but that's the way it is right now, I bet you. And just until I get everything where I need it to be, I suppose. I'm still in growing stage.
Yeah. So what's the next few years look like for you?
I've had a pull to discover something new. I mean, I love the store and everything, but it's starting to become it's becoming self-sufficient, and my goal is not to stop. And I actually would love to write a book, and I'm not even sure which way I'm going to go with it. I mean, I've thought of a tutorial because, you know, I'm in jewelry making, so that's one thing. But then there's also other things. So definitely that. But yeah, I just want to follow that flow again and see what else I can come up with.
It's exciting then. I can't wait to see your book come out in the world.
Yeah, I did recently. I read your book as well, The Boss Hat. So here it is.
Hey, there
Yeah.
you haven't planned that at all.
I remember when I saw it come out in the Concord Club, I was like, oh, I really want to read that, because, you know, I was still in that self-discovery phase as well. And, you know, I found some pretty neat things in there. So
Good.
yeah.
Oh, pleased. I'm really happy.
It's inspiring. Yes.
Oh, good. So we're just waiting for yours, and then I'll have yours on my bookshelf then.
Oh, cool. That's exciting.
It will be good. So you'll just have to let me know when it happens.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we ask everybody to recommend a book. What book have you got for everybody? You know, as in something that's inspired you or motivated you, or you've learned something from.
Yeah, I was, the one that I was thinking is more of a self-help book. It's not a business book, but it was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. It really helped me discover peace within myself, it opened up the gates to discovering who I am and where I would like to go. And I just recommend it for anyone who wants to find some self-growth and find some happiness. Yeah, so that's the one that
It's such a good choice. I'm when we spoke about this before, I'm a massive fan of Louise Hay and affirmations. Do you use affirmations, or do you personally use that as part of your routine?
You know, sporadically. I mean, when I feel like I need something, I'll either make one up or I'll check out that book. That book is a great resource. Like, I'll go and I'll grab it and find something that I need for the time, and it does help solidify things when you're starting to feel like you're you're falling apart, I guess, in certain areas, because there's like a money section, there's a health section, there's a relationship section. Oh, my relationship's going to crap. I got to grab, where's my Louise Hay book? Oh, affirmation. You know, so.
She's got you covered. You're all right. Every aspect of your life, you're all right. You can go grab something. But it's such a good book. And yeah, I'm a big fan of affirmations. Really work. You know, I think, you know, just talking to yourself positively is a great habit to get into, and often we don't always do that, do we? We can be our own worst enemy, or, you know, have that inner critic that's from getting anywhere.
Totally.
Do you find that's a problem for you, or do you think actually I've got, you know, I'm quite positive? And
oh, I'm quite positive, but of course you get those demons coming at you, and it's and sometimes everybody is going to get in a hole sometimes with those, but the you just have to keep looking forward and try to beat them down with optimism and positivity.
Yeah, definitely just overpower it. Oh, Crissy, it's been an absolute joy chatting to you. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know why we've waited so long to talk. But no, it's been an absolute joy. So, and I can't wait to see your book come to fruition. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Well, thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it too.
Good.